everyone, this is Diary of a Mystic. Welcome back to One Bad Tarot Reader, Podcast 2. Thank you so much for the overwhelming response to the first podcast. I received lovely messages from those that listened, and I really appreciate the feedback. I was kind of nervous about putting it out. I don't know why. But yeah, I'm so glad you guys liked it. So I'm going to keep doing these periodically. I may also do other podcasts released to Patreon, but if you'd like to become a supporter of Patreon Diary of a Mystic, tiers start at $3. And please support the channel. So here we go, podcast number 2. So I wanted to talk about being a reader and living in that world. And if you're a reader yourself, you know what I'm talking about. It's a different world. And then being a reader versus living in the real world. Being a tarot reader or psychic or a medium is very isolating. You work by yourself primarily. And many things you share with no one. Like no one. I feel a good reader should be, the top priority should be client confidential. You should trust your reader not to go blah, blah, blah about your problems to other people. Okay. Make sure your reader is strictly confidential. And I'm the equivalent of a Catholic priest when it comes to other people's information, their lives, because you're dealing with real heavy personal stuff. So you have to trust your reader. So Diary of a Mystic, basically am the diary of many people's stories, many people's love lives, many people's personal lives, and you have to be strictly confidential. Just as if you're going to a therapist with client confidentiality agreements, it's initially the same thing. So I have like a treasure chest full of dealing or speaking to or reading about other people's lives, and it's many times heavy stuff. So being a reader versus living in the real world, meaning the world that you're in as a reader is one that is very private specific. You are talking with people, doing readings, answering emails, and you're basically your own boss. You're in your own office, and many things you are dealing with the general public, they don't even understand. And also, your friends and family have no idea. So if you work from home, whether you're a reader or whether you just work from home and you are able to have an income or make a living working from home, for some reason, people think you're not doing anything all damn day. Oh, she ain't busy. She's at home. Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. Being a reader is also not 9 to 5. Okay. Someone asked me last week, do you work on the weekends? I said, girl, I work all the time. Whenever I'm called to. So a reader's lifestyle is very unconventional. And that's what I said to them. I said, yeah, I have an unconventional schedule. It is not Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, 8 to 4, 7 to 3. It's very unconventional. And readers that are listening to this can resonate because you'll be up at 1 o'clock in the morning answering an email or working on a product or even doing a reading. You could be up again at 6 a.m. answering an email and starting your day. So it's very unconventional. And when people are like, oh, that ain't no job, that's not a real job. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I file my taxes, I report my income, and it's a real job. So just because you don't see a paper paycheck or you don't see me leaving the house, going to work and coming back from my day, trust me, I'm at work and it's a job. So that's the thing about living in this world. Whether you are a spiritual reader, a spiritual practitioner, you make your own products, you have your own business, you're self-employed, you work from home, your business is in your home, or if you rent a space, or if you have a storefront, or whatever it is, it's very unconventional. And it's also one where we're typically very much, sometimes it can be very demanding. Okay, very demanding in the aspect of people need answers. They're anxious. Sometimes they come to you in desperation. They're worried. And so they want a response. They want an answer. They want their reading out there. They sometimes can become impatient. That's about 5% that I've dealt with. Okay. And so you feel the need to answer right away, or you feel the need to respond to someone. And typically when you can't respond quickly, people get impatient. It's kind of like sitting in the drive-thru at the spiritual McDonald's. Like, hold on. I'm whipping up your magical Big Mac. Just give me a minute. Because it's an art form, okay? It's an art form to create that spiritual Big Mac to deliver to you, so you have a substantial spiritual meal that is fed back to you where you feel full. Okay, so it can get like that. It can get a little stressful. It can get a little crazy, especially if you're very busy. Now, readers who, and I can attest to this, many times all at once you'll have people booking. Many times you'll have them booking slowly. Many times you'll have a steady stream of clients booking. Sometimes it'll be crickets. Like, hello? Is anybody out there? And then all of a sudden, boom. And so I feel that the right people will find you. And I've always compared it to being a hairstylist. You go to your favorite hairstylist because they know how to tweak that hair. They know what to do with it, with the blowout. You come out feeling fabulous and you feel confident, and you feel confident also in paying the money to your favorite hairstylist. Okay. And that's how you get people coming back to you. Same thing. Okay. Same thing. Some people like my vibe. Some people don't like my vibe, and that's okay. I'd rather people that like my vibe come back to the Brookie vibe. So being a reader versus living in the real world, very, very different, very unconventional, can become isolating at times. But if you're okay with working by yourself, it's not lonely. It's not a lonely job at all, because you're surrounded by energy all the time. You're surrounded by your spirit guides. You're surrounded by your spiritual team, however you want to phrase it. So you're never quite alone in this work. You're never alone. But it can also be very self-satisfying. And many times also we find ourselves getting so much satisfaction from putting out a reading and having the client's feedback come back to us. And the public doesn't see these things. The public also doesn't see every client feedback that I get. I like to keep them to myself. I'm all about promoting and marketing myself, but they're so special to me that I just want to keep them to myself. And so many times people want to see reviews or feedback, which I have on my website, which you should showcase, just as if you're going to Amazon and you want to see a product review. It's basically the same thing. And many times you'll get wonderful, beautiful feedback. And sometimes working, you'll put out a reading, put all your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and you never hear back from the person. Sometimes you'll hear back from the person and they'll book with you straight away, or they'll continue to come back. And so building a business or building a client list takes time. It really, really, really does. I have probably a handful of clients that I still read for from the very beginning, 6 years ago. I've seen clients come and go, return, repeat. It just depends on where they are in their life path, or if they've also found another reader that's more suitable for them. But many times the same client pool will be there, and then new clients will come in. And when a new client finds me, I'm very appreciative because I feel that the spirit is sending the right people to me, just as if they're going to send the right people to you. Okay? So living in this world as a reader versus the real world is very different, and many people don't realize that. So, for instance, my friend who works 40 hours a week and works, 9 to 5, and talks about her job and her stressful boss and yada, yada, yada. And I'm sitting there going, because I remember what that felt like. And even during my tarot career, I've had other jobs in the real world to supplement my income. Many times there have been moments where I've been able to support myself 100% doing this work. And then there's been times when I haven't been able to. That's just the reality of it. So you always have to have a backup job, backup plan, supplemental income, but that's another podcast. I'm not trying to be Susie Orman right now, but so anyway, and many people don't take this seriously. So when people approach me and say, what do we do when we first meet someone? What do you do? That's always the question. What do you do? What do you do? It took me a long time to be honest to myself and speak the truth to other people and say, oh, well, I'm a tarot reader, or I'm a psychic reader, or I'm a spiritual reader. Oh, many times people's expressions are, oh, wow, really? They're curious or interested. Or, oh my God, I love that. Can you read for me? Or, yeah, okay, what's your real job? So you get a various opinions, expressions, and you just got to roll with it. I think probably for me, living in this world, doing what I do, and then the real world was when I had to go to court, child support court, which had been ongoing. You know how child support court is. It'll go on for the rest of your life. Anyway, so I'm in court, and the judge asked me if I was working. And I said, yes, ma'am, I have my own business. And she goes, well, what do you do? And I said, I'm a spiritual reader. So I'm in court in front of the judge, okay, in front of everybody, in front of the world. And I looked at her and I said, I'm a spiritual reader. And I didn't know what her response was going to be, if she was going to laugh at me or be like, yeah, okay, or that's not a job. Or I was just like, I am putting it out there. I'm being true and real to myself. And she looks at me and smiles and says, oh my God, I love that. I about died. Okay, about died, especially when I looked over at, baby daddy's face. Anyway, so you just don't know. You don't know who's into this kind of stuff. You really don't know. I mean, you just don't know. So being real and authentic and like, for instance, doing a podcast like this, it's not easy, it's not easy because people are going to judge, people are going to criticize, people are going to whatever, it's just not easy. But I have gone through these situations, and I've always wanted to talk about what it feels like. So it's two different worlds. two different worlds. And many times as a reader, especially if you have a client in your queue who's getting a reading, and so you're thinking about that client, you're going to be doing the reading for them that day, whether it's live on the phone together, Skype, whether you're in person together. Spirit will have a way to show you signs sometimes about the person or about the reading. So your spiritual team is very real. I think it's very important for you to make and secure and honor your spiritual team, no matter what that is, and appreciate them for what they do. Okay, hold on. The cat is wanting to come into the room while I'm doing the podcast. Go away, kitty. Anyway, so, oh my God, this cat's high maintenance. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. So anyway, so your spiritual team comes in the form that's personal to you. So many times when people are like, I want to get in touch or connect with my spirit guides, or can you tell me the messages from my spirit guides? That's something that I feel is very personal and private. I can tell you what my guides' messages are for you, but I think that's something that people have to take the time to cultivate, listen to, practice, getting and reaching and getting in touch with personally. So when I'm doing a reading, my guides are coming through to me for you, not necessarily your spirit guides. So when people are like, what are the messages for my spirit guides? I'm like, sweetheart, your spirit guides are not my spirit guides. Okay, that should be a t-shirt. Your spirit guides are not my spirit guides. So that's something that's very personal. And so we get asked a lot of funny questions sometimes. Not that that's a funny question, but questions that people really, if they truly want to know, if they're truly invested in that, they will seek it out themselves. Okay? So being a reader versus living in the real world, there's many things about being a reader that people have misconceptions about. Number one, you're a fortune teller. No. I remember when I was first starting out and I was talking to my dad, and dad had gone to a family function and came back, and he told me about people were asking about me and what's Brooke doing these days and what's Brooke up to, and dad has always been very supportive of this. I will say that. My family's been very supportive. My father in particular, my father's sister, my aunt's been very supportive of this. And my father, God bless him, told everybody what I was doing. Oh, she's a tarot reader. Oh, is that like a fortune teller? So she's a fortune teller. And Dad's like, no, it's a little different. So fortune telling is primarily some type of kind of, when you think fortune teller, and I know Diary of a Mystic, my logo is very much the crystal ball because I love crystal balls, but it's kind of like the hocus pocus, circus, carnival, fortune teller, and that's not what we do. We don't sit in a window all day wearing our turban, sitting in front of our crystal ball, waiting for the next person to walk up and pay me $10. That's just not what it is. So, fortune telling is not what it is. That's predicting the future, which primarily a lot of readers don't do. They're not into that. They're not into just predicting the future. I'm a lot of that, because when I started to read the tarot, as I like to say, I was reading to predict the future because I wanted to know things. That's how I approached the tarot. I also approached it as a mystical gateway to spirit contact, or to contact the other realms. I was just drawn to it. So the tarot reader's personal journey in terms of why they read is very much about their own personal choices, reflection. Not every reader is the same. Each reader is completely different. And so many times you'll go to a reader, you'll have a reading, it'll be completely different to the next reader you go to, which will be completely different to the next reader that you go to. And so readers themselves don't just read predictively. They're just not reading to predict the future. Many times, and I'll do this in another podcast, a really good seasoned reader will really reach down into the root of things for you to really help you pull out or unblock or look at situations that will help you to either A, evolve, B, heal, or C, move forward from something. Okay? And that's really the evolution that the tarot has had in a lot of aspects. It's very much a healing type of tool in a lot of ways. So the thing about reading, however, though, you can become very burned out. And that's when you have to step in and set boundaries with people. And trust me, girl, I've had some clients. I've had clients, not all of them. I'll say there's a 2% of clients who are needy as hell, who are blowing up your email, blowing up your DMs, acting as if, Chicken Little, the world, the sky is going to crumble if I don't hear from you, or they want to tell you their life story, or they're just basically leaning on you or being codependent on you as if you're their own private personal therapist. I'm no one's therapist, okay? I'm no one's personal dumpster. Like my BFF said the other night, she has these wonderful moments of quotes. You're not anyone's personal dumpster, okay? You can be a confidant, and you are definitely helping people with their problems, their issues, their situations, but you're not someone's therapist and you're not someone's personal dumpster. That's when you start to piss off your reader. Okay? Don't piss off the reader. So if you rush your reader, if you're DMing them, emailing them, if you're, writing about your life story and expecting for them to give you an answer, for 20 bucks that you really should be going to an attorney about, or you should be seeking a licensed therapist yourself, who would not be charging you 20 bucks. They'd be charging you about, 200 bucks an hour. So, yeah, there's many things as readers that we have to set boundaries. And I always tell people you have to set boundaries, not just with clients, but with people in general in your life. You have to set boundaries, okay? And it's okay to do. It's okay to do. But don't piss off your reader, because you certainly don't want to rush your reader. And I'm very okay with oh, okay, well, it's midnight and you're, sending me DMs and not even giving a rat's ass about what time it is for me when I'm trying to go to sleep. And you're just I want it now. It's like Veruca Salt, I want my rating now, daddy. No. No, girl, no. I will refund your money. Which pisses me off because I have to pay extra to refund someone's money via PayPal, which You all use, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, whatever else you're using. I don't know what you're all using for payments. PayPal is probably the best, most secure way to have any type of financial transaction with someone. But PayPal, if you refund someone's money, you have to pay more to refund the money. Okay? So if I'm willing to do that, that means I do not want to read for you. I would recommend you to really seek out the professionals that you really need to talk to. And I've learned that many times when people act like this, it has nothing to do with the reader and has, of course, everything to do with that person. Case in point, I had someone who I had read for periodically, probably the last, I don't know, couple of years. Excuse me, I just burped on my podcast. Okay. It's a podcast. One bad tarot reader. I'm going to burp. I'm sorry. So anyway, so I had known this person for a long time. Not really, but we certain circles. They felt the need to rush me. Oh, I've got this going on. See, I need my reading. I got this going on. And I stipulate 5 to 10 days, 5 to 7 days on my website. Once the reading is delivered, because I'm busy. I have other clients that are in the queue, and don't rush your reader. So I've had moments where I've been like, this is not what this is about for me. Nobody likes to be rushed. I don't care if it's your mechanic, your doctor, your dentist. I don't care if it's your housekeeper doesn't want to be rushed. Don't rush people, especially in this industry where we're not. And I've always said this too. I am not a drive-through psychic. I'm not a drive-through psychic. You just don't pull up, push a button, and then boop, there's your reading. We're not drive-through psychics. No. And we don't like to be rushed. And so this is just as if you were walking into, a grocery store and you're yelling at the checkout girl to bag your groceries faster because you got to get to your appointment. No, you don't do that. And so I've been like, oh my Lord, refunded sales where I could have, really used that money, but I've refunded sales because it just puts a bad taste in a reader's mouth. No reader wants to read for somebody that's already projected negativity and is being needy as hell. And that's about 2% in my professional tarot career in 6 years. I have a folder of refunds, and there's probably less than 12. So it's very, very, very rare. But you'll notice the ones that do set boundaries and that are very clear, because they'll have terms and conditions on their website. And I think it's very important for anybody who wants to do this professionally to have terms and conditions, because it protects the reader as well. So yeah, there have been moments where also, during my tarot career, and I don't even do this anymore, to read for my friends. I don't read for my family members. I've never read for anybody in my family. I don't want to. I don't want to go there. Like, I don't want to know the inner workings of, my family's love life. I just don't want to go there. I already know too much anyway. I don't want to go there. I don't read for my friends anymore. I stopped bringing the cards with me to read for friends of friends or family of friends. I don't do that because I'm not a show pony. I want to read when I feel comfortable to read, and I want to read the right type of energy, because that's another podcast in itself, which I'm going to do, which is all about the energy exchange, which most likely will be in podcast number 3, is the energy exchange that you take on by performing readings, having clients. And this is even true for those that read true crime cases. You take on this energy exchange with that particular case, and you can have energy attachments that become attached to you. So this is One Bad Tarot Reader podcast number 2. And I wanted to do another podcast. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive. And thank you for listening. One Bad Tarot Reader. This is Diary of a Mystic. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to become a part of the Patreon membership community, feel free to hop on over to my Patreon and sign up. Also, if you want to become part of the Mystic Village, join button is below. You can become an official Mystic Villager, where you'll have access to perks as well as private chats, and join the Mystic Village Facebook as well. And my business website is listed below if you're interested in booking a reading with me. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Stay blessed, y'all. And I'll speak to you soon.